Happy holidays. We are inches, we are days. I think we're oh my gosh, how many days are we away? We
Week,
are
like 1 week from today.
we are week
1 week
away
from
from
today.
the first national holiday of the year, the first one that matters.
First big
Wrestle
event of
Kingdom
the year. Yep.
Wrestle Kingdom 17 is right around the corner. But before we get to talking about this stat card of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 matches right now. There might be a battle royal thrown in there. But right now, those 12 matches, 12, 13 matches, those are what we slated it for. And we're going to talk about it all. But before we get to that, Dom, how was your Christmas?
Awesome, man. Very good. Just hung out with the family, and just awesome. An awesome time. A lot of food, and just
What you have?
a lot
Because
of
I've
seafood, of course. The seven
okay,
fishes and the whole Italian thing, and
okay.
lobster, calamari, shrimp, like bang bang pasta. No, we don't do ham or turkey or anything like that. So we
Okay.
keep it pretty simple. We get like the platters from like local bakeries.
Right.
Sabella's and Revere, if I'm going to plug Sabella's and Revere, and J. Potch and Saugus, and they were both awesome. So thank you to those two companies for making the Christmas a memorable one.
Was calamari a tough chew for you growing up?
You know what? I didn't get into it till later on. I'm sure it would have been though if I eat when I was younger. I was very finicky as a kid, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't really translate to that, but you're very finicky eater, and I didn't broaden my horizons till later on in life.
So what's funny is since I've been living with Teresa and her family, it's been different for me when it comes to Christmas because when I was younger, it was go to my aunt's and her husband's very Italian and she's Irish Catholic. So it was so it was kind of like it was very Italian. Like it was a lot of like there was like pasta and some other and like dessert was very Italian, but like my uncle would make chicken cordon bleu, and
Oh
that's the
wow!
only time I would eat ham because I could mask it up. I don't like ham, so I would
Yeah,
be
I'm
able
hit or
to
miss with
mask it
it.
up with the cordon bleu. But it was everything had garlic in it, garlic butter, garlic like it was just garlic mist, and I loved it. But we had Teresa's mom cooked a very beautiful pot roast. So pot roast and all the fixings, it was great. Um, what'd you get? Did you get anything good? What'd you get for Christmas?
Honestly, cash, cash, gift cards, and yeah, nothing. It's not anything. It's just like literally like quick, hands of the envelopes.
Right.
The gifts are actually the last thing. It's like once we get there, it's more just hanging with everyone at
Is it
Christmas
because it's all
movies.
gift cards and cash?
Probably, yeah. I think it's just become so like simplistic
Yeah.
that we're like, it's kind of cool. Like as I'm getting older, I'm like, you don't even think about it. Like it's literally like that Christmas Eve. We get everyone gets home, we hang out, throw on some movies, like shoot the shit. And even though it's something we kind of do all the time, it's just I don't know. I guess it's the fact that everyone's still kind of fucking here for it, and I don't know. You kind of growing to appreciate it more now than I did before.
Right.
I can't explain it, but it was definitely a good weekend. So
I got a Krakens jersey, very nice. I got a Will Ospreay T-shirt.
ooh,
I was gonna wear,
how do
but
you not? At least can we? Nothing. No, you don't even have
I
it.
can go get it.
I
I'll happily go
mean,
get it in a second.
I
Um,
would like to see what that's all about.
I
So, where
got
do you get that from? High Spots, New Japan website.
so it was gotten for me from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Ooh, nice.
Pro
They
Wrestling
do
Tees does a fantastic job as per
fucking
usual.
always. Yeah.
The shirt was a little. The reason I'm not wearing it, it was a little stiff
Mhm.
coming out of the package, so I like to give it that good
Oh yeah.
wash and hang.
hmm
Um,
Nothing worse than wearing a T-shirt that feels like cardboard a little bit,
yeah.
almost until you break it in. Yeah, I've had a
So
few of those go through.
and then I got a. Her parents got me a very nice Detroit Lions T-shirt. It's got
Ooh,
the helmet on it with the reflection of the stadium in it, so that was cool.
fucking
It was a very
sick.
good shirt. Let me grab that
Yeah.
Osprey shirt.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
It's my first Will Ospreay shirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have lost the bet on that. Holy shit,
So it
dude.
says Billy Goat on it up top.
Whoa, hold on. Can you pull it back a little? Wow. Yeah, it's fucking wild, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's his newest one.
Is that Chinese lettering on the bottom? What was that across the
Yeah,
bottom?
that's Japanese. I think it says Will Ospreay. I'm not 100% sure.
Sick.
But yeah, that was a good grab.
That's a great
Good
grab.
gift. So yeah, no, it was a good year. Good,
Yeah,
good on the
20.
gift.
Yeah. In
Got to
general,
see,
2022 was fucking awesome all the way
yeah,
around. So
got to see my parents on
nice.
Christmas Eve, so that was good.
Cool.
Had raviolis and meatballs, homemade meatballs. My dad makes a killer meatball.
Awesome.
He's shrunken them over the years, but they're still great because they are handmade still.
Can't beat that.
So,
My grandmother used to do that on my mother's side. And there was a long time where we couldn't not that we couldn't, we wouldn't eat meatballs anywhere else. Like it was just weird. Like, and it was like all my cousins, like we were all like that. We didn't know we were like that until like
yeah.
talking about it one day. We're like, yo, we don't eat anyone but Nanny's meatballs. Like that's fucking nuts. That's how good they were. But I know that's cool.
There's the frozen meatballs taste so bad to me, and it's like it's one of those things that like there's certain foods like meatballs for me, country fried steak, like nobody beats my dad's chicken wings or chicken fingers.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Like so it's like certain foods that I'm like they're only good homemade.
Very picky about. Yeah. You set that standard for.
Oh right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
USA Subs in Derry, and I think there's one in Salem, New Hampshire. Also has a good meatball sub. All right.
Okay.
But now for the no pun intended meat and potatoes of this episode. Wrestle Kingdom. It is January 4th. It will be starting at I
1 a.m.
1
a.m. our time. No, is 4:30?
No,
I thought it was 1 a.m. But you might be right.
The good thing is that they've been anytime they advertise it, they've been.
I was poking around on the New Japan website.
They put the time on it.
Yeah, all the different time zones. I probably read it wrong, but the thing is, it looks like it comes with New Japan's with New Japan World. Do they do that every year? Where it's
since starting New Japan World, it has always been
a part of the $10 a month.
Right.
Well, that's awesome.
Right.
I don't know why I've been paying for it then on Fight TV.
Are you?
It's not even available. So I was like, I went on Fight TV to look for it, and I was like, why the fuck is it not there? And then I went on their website and I saw that it was a part of if you have New Japan World, and there was no extra fee for it. So I was like, oh, this is fucking great. So I don't have to worry about it.
Here's one. Yeah, 1:20 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, it is? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's funny is it starts 10:20 on January
Yeah, I know,
for
right?
PST. I think that's like
Pacific.
Australia.
Yeah.
Or no, you're right. It might be Pacific Standard Time. It's actually starting January 3rd, which is hilarious to me.
Wild.
So we're gonna cover the whole card. I would like to get into a little bit if I can find if I can find the transcript. I would like to get into the Kenny Omega interview that he did recently, talking about Will Ospreay and New Japan overall.
Where did this interview take place?
It was.
Is it attached
very
to
recently?
Is it attached to AEW, or is it something he did?
Not, no.
That's something I want to get into with you too, because tonight, I mean, we got Dynamite tonight too, and they have not mentioned that he is wrestling. We've heard more about WWE mentioning something's going on in Japan than AEW, and that's a little intriguing to me.
There's actually, before we get to Wrestle Kingdom, there's something I want to bring up, and it goes back to a few podcasts ago, actually. Something that I had brought up, but I forget how it came about or how we got to talking about it. The ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, has said in a recent interview that the Bullet Club is, I want to get his exact words. Hold.
Tanahashi must be on the card, right? Where the fuck? Oh,
yeah, he's in a 6-man that we'll get to.
He's wow.
No.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking awesome.
Oh yes. Okay, here it is. In a recent interview, going into Wrestle Kingdom 17, Tanahashi credited the Bullet Club for having a monumental amount of influence across the globe. So this is the exact quote from Tanahashi. That was the core four: Devitt, Fale, Anderson, and Tamatonga. I think from there, it is no exaggeration to say Bullet Club is the most important faction of the last 20 years at least. Wherever you go overseas, you see fans in Bullet Club shirts. And all those people on the top slot over the years, Devitt, Styles, Omega, Jay White, are really the best of the best. So that is the exact quote from Tanahashi. And I think I echoed that sentiment before, and I will say it going forward. The Bloodline is doing fantastic work for WWE.
Incredible.
But since the NWO, there has not been a faction that WWE has gone, you cannot wear these shirts in our arenas. Turn your shirts inside out, or here's a WWE shirt. I remember probably around the AJ Styles to Omega Bullet Club era that it was almost like a drinking game where my friends and I would count the Bullet Club shirts in the WWE arena.
Oh wow.
And it's a joke that everybody in Bullet Club gets a Bullet Club shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but at the same time,
it works.
I bought so many. I had friends who weren't watching New Japan who knew who Bullet Club was because of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
Not to mention
the shirt.
Wow.
Right.
I mean, of all people that we don't mention, I don't give them enough credit, but probably the most important, especially when it comes to their merch. Yeah, and they don't even flash it really. I mean, they do, but they don't. It's weird. It's almost their logo now, but it's not.
Right. Yeah, the Young Bucks helped them get into Hot Topic, which has a flood of New Japan shirts and Bullet Club shirts They had Bullet Club socks.
Right.
Like so, like if you just go through the talent that went through Bullet Club, it's absolutely bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And like regardless of the state of Bullet Club and its members, you can say that Bullet Club's never, like, it's not as popular as it once was, but it's because of it's partly because of the pandemic, and it's partly because of AEW. And I say it's partly because of AEW because three of the well, at the time, four of its biggest members left to go form AEW and leave Bullet Club and leave New Japan.
And
Now
they
have
couldn't. And there was really a thing where it was like they were pissed, right? Like this wasn't like they didn't bring Japan with them when they did this.
right.
They kind of bailed on Japan and Ring of Honor. That was like a
So
big.
that
That's how I
so
took it. I wasn't involved like I am now. Like I knew what was going on, but I wasn't. I remember talking to my buddies and be like, "Yo, they just fucked Japan and Ring of Honor big time." But I wasn't into like what was going on.
so the thing
That was my
was like,
feeling on it as like a casual fan.
so my whole take on that is like, I don't think they fucked Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor kind of knew what they were getting into.
Okay.
Ring of Honor was like, yeah, we'll help you with All In or All Out or whatever it was. We'll get, it will be our production, all this, all that, all blah blah blah. But that's all we're being like that was the end of the agreement. It wasn't like we're gonna. There wasn't a talent. They didn't pull all their talent, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like the other thing, when it comes to New Japan, I'm kind of torn on that because like their like Kenny's contract was up, the
See, this is what
Bucks
I'm saying.
contract
You were
was
in the
up.
thick of it, so like they knew their time was up, and it was time
Like
to
it
make.
was kind of one of those things where like New Japan was upset, but I don't think it was justified.
But the writing was on the wall that something was happening,
Right,
and
and I
they
think
were aware that like okay, like
right, and I think that
because
the other
Cody.
thing too that I think kind of gets overlooked or like not mentioned enough is there wasn't anything else for the Bucks and Kenny to
Left to
do.
do.
Like the Young Bucks are the have the most title reigns of any IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion.
Yeah.
They won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles, given it was in a respectable reign, but they still won
Yeah.
them. And Kenny Omega had the greatest wrestling trilogy of all time.
Right.
So
So yeah,
he was the first and only Gaijin to win the G1 Climax. He won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Like, what else was there for him to do? The only thing you could argue
just
is an IWGP tag title run with Kota Ibushi.
mm,
And yeah, that's fine. Like that could be something he wanted to do, but start a new company that in America and you don't have to worry about travel or anything. IWGP heavyweight title or tag title run with Kota Ibushi, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's scaled
it's
to
enough for
AEW.
nothing. It's a roll of the dice too. Like it's not like just because they knew they had the backing. Like when they did that, whether they knew or they didn't know what was going to happen with TNT or TBS, like as much as I want to say they fucked New Japan, like now that you kind of put it like that, they didn't know, man. We know what AEW is now. We were all excited for it. We all knew the talent was there. And I remember saying, not until they get a cable deal am I going to jump all over this. Even with when Jericho went, it was like, ooh, wow, that's a big deal. But they're still not on TV. They probably knew it was coming. But yeah, as a talent, absolutely a roll of the dice for Kenny and the Bucks to lead Japan and what they were doing at their apex. So it kind of goes both ways. You're right.
So my feeling was they need, when AEW started, I was like, you just can't. I'm trying to remember how I felt at the time. I don't think I had. I didn't think of them in failure.
I didn't think of them as failure.
I was just right. I was just excited for the ride.
Me too. Me too.
I thought they could. I thought if they needed to, they could do the. I thought if they needed to, they could do the TNA Asylum era formula where you do weekly pay-per-views or monthly pay-per-views. And I thought if you can get somebody to lend you a building, you pay the $1,000 or whatever,
which they knew they
you
had
can
regardless, though.
you can do essentially Dark and Elevation on YouTube,
Yeah.
but you would have it with a core roster of, let's say, 15, 20, and then you do a weekly YouTube episodes, which you can put behind a pay
Worst case
window if you
scenario is
want,
you
or
got a place
fight.
to drop a show with Daly's Place, and then the platform with YouTube to do it, even if they didn't get a cable deal. I see what
Right.
you're saying. Right.
So like cable deal was the had to come eventually,
Mm-hmm.
but if it wasn't there at the beginning,
You had an option to
it
have
wasn't
a
right.
platform. Yeah.
NWA
Right.
was fine doing their
That's true
shows and
too,
putting
and
them on Fight
they were fucking
and
killing it. Yeah.
right. So I think it was just one of those things where you could have gone at max a year without a TV deal and maybe not be great, but be fine.
You're right. If Power did what they did, NWA Power did what they did off of YouTube, creating the stars they had, AEW would have. You're right. Yeah, that's such a
So,
good point.
but I think Bullet Club, or back to the Bullet Club point, I think Bullet Club gets a lot more hate for, I think, kind of being, and I think this is a non New Japan fan take, and it's they didn't sustain in America, therefore they flopped, therefore they're not as big as they were, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, but Devitt got poached, Carl's and Anderson got poached, Styles got poached. Well, actually, I don't think Styles got poached. I think what happened was Styles didn't want to sign with Impact, wanted to do New Japan, and told WWE, "Let me do some New Japan, and then I'll come to you." So I don't think Styles was poached. I think he was like, "Hey WWE, let me do this, and then I'll
Let me
come to you."
finish up, and I'm gonna.
Right. Let me wrestle in New Japan till Royal Rumble, and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Kenny got poached, Cody got poached, Young Bucks got poached. So the thing was like, if you had AEW start with the Bullet Club members of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, like if from day one the Bullet Club was in AEW as the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, I think we're having a different. I think the tone is different.
Mm.
Um,
But they needed. You're saying they needed to go to Japan first before they did that. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks as Ring of Honor. Are they making that impact at the inaugural
nope.
AEW? They're not, right? Like it's not even fucking close.
The
Like
thing is that I think that's the other thing too. Is I think that New Japan wasn't so upset that they were doing it. I think it was almost. I think there was possibly a perceived lack of thank you, and
because they knew at some point it could come back. Like
right. I think that there was a. I think the other thing too that I think plays a big part of this is the past CEO or whatever he was of New Japan. He was like some Swedish guy, I think.
Harold Meach.
I forget his name. He's not the current one. The one
I know who
before.
you're talking
He
about.
was
Yeah.
just he seemed like a good hire at the time, but he just didn't. He seemed to cause more problems than solutions for New Japan.
Mm.
So I think that was part of the problem where
Come on,
I think he kind of like
he had
took
some
it more
weird.
personal, them leaving, than anybody else in New Japan, but
Harold,
nobody
Harold Meach.
else wanted to like tell him to back off. And then he leaves, they get a new guy, and then like somebody was like, "All right, now let's try to repair this relationship, or at least try to get on the same page." You know what I mean? And again, it's the unsung hero of Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero is one of he's the second greatest liaison from Japan to America, with the first one being Sonny. Was it Sonny Ono? No, that was Chris Hero. Um, God, uh, he was a manager for WCW back in the day. Uh,
Oh, the cowboy,
no, his name was Sonny something.
Sonny Ono. Sonny
Was it
Ono.
Sonny Ono? Oh,
Sonny Ono.
Okay, Cassius Ono was Chris Hero.
Chris Hero, yeah. Sonny Ono was I think he was the bridge to Bischoff and getting
Yes,
Japan talent.
yes,
Right, he was that
Sonny
bridge.
Ono. That's who it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah, Sonny Ono.
So in the Japanese to American ambassadors for that relationship, it goes Sonny
He
Ono
was a
and
big
then it goes
deal.
Rocky
He was
Romero.
important. Yeah,
Rocky
I didn't know Rocky
Romero.
Romero was on that level of Sonny Ono.
He's the only he's the main reason that New Japan's in America. Like,
Wow.
because here's the thing is like, without Rocky Romero, it's a lot harder for New Japan to get to America.
I always wondered why he consistently popped up, but really didn't do anything. Like, it was always like, oh, Rocky Romero, and then like he was just there. So it's like they just needed to show he was there, not what he was doing. If that makes sense,
Right.
you know?
He has a bigger.
He's more a figurehead than a talent.
Right.
I guess
He wrestles when they need him to.
And that guy Harold Meesh, I knew he had something going on with Coca-Cola, which is why he was a big deal. He was the senior VP of Coca-Cola Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew he had some sort of tie into them, and he was with New Japan from 2018 to 2020. It looks like so. He was there during a very important time in running shit of what was going on. So, just to touch on that. And then he just disappeared.
Yeah,
I always wanted to know what his deal was, so I didn't know how much.
I didn't fault them at the time for doing it.
Yeah.
For bringing him in, because I think they felt he was needed, but
Bucknell University, New York.
It was just a lot of like, now it was like,
he's from the Netherlands and went to Bucknell and then becomes VP of fucking Coca-Cola Japan. What a wild ride.
Yeah, it was like, again, I think he was just like,
yeah.
It's hard to say he was bad for the job, but I just don't think he was the right person for them.
They must have been looking for some sort of relationship somewhere. I don't know. That's something we might want to dig into, but who knows? Anyway, back to where we were.
Yeah, but anyways,
Bullet Club and what they've done.
Yeah, I just like, and the problem is, the other thing too that made me kind of like, ooh, Tanahashi, what are you saying? That's only going back to 2002. Even if you cap it at 2000, you can make the case maybe for Evolution, but Evolution didn't really have that big of an impact globally, I think.
No. No.
I mean, yeah, there was nobody competing with WWE, so like they were the hardest group in WWE, but it's like, were they though?
The talent never made WWE global. It was always like,
it was global.
Vince never needed. Yeah, he never needed a talent to say, "Hey, we're gonna." I mean, yeah, I can't think of really anyone.
Right, and like I would say, I would be inclined to say that that Bullet Club is the most influential group on the wrestling world since NWO.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's still you can make the case that's still in the parameters of what Tanahashi said. You know what I mean? Because like, there's just not a group since the NWO. And again, I think over here in the States, Bullet Club gets hate because
they took their blueprint. They took that formula and they perfected it. The NWO got so ridiculous with it. It was like, come on.
Right.
New Japan found a way to take that formula, hand someone a T-shirt, and make that star people that I never thought would be like Jay White is the perfect fucking example of this. Like, never in a million years would I think like he's gonna keep that Bullet Club, the honor of it, or whatever you want, the prestige of Bullet Club, that make it valuable. And I didn't think he could take the ball and run with it. And he pretty much has. Like, he's actually kind of fallen back a little bit in the Wrestle Kingdom, considering where he is on this card. like everything else is going around him. Like
Right.
he doesn't even need to be the man, but he is. Like I don't know. Jay White's
The
in
thing
just
is that like the thing is that like right like Bullet Club is the most influential group of the last 2 decades, but
I agree.
right now in the scope of New Japan, they're probably third, maybe fourth.
As
It's
you're
hard.
talking about, like who's the most important person on their roster right now? Like,
I'm the most important faction
okay,
because I think
yeah. See, I don't
I
know
think
much
the
about those
first
factions.
I think the first is United Empire. I think United Empire is the strongest faction in New Japan right now. I think from there it's really interchangeable.
Is
With Los
Chaos still
Ingobernables.
involved? Is Chaos?
Yep.
Oh, lost. Okay, good. Sorry.
It, uh, it's interchangeable between Bullet Club, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Chaos, like those with Suzuki Gun breaking up, which we'll talk about in a little bit because
Yeah.
that hit me where I live. It's like it's one of those things where it like New Japan has so much to be thankful for because of Bullet Club, and I just don't think people in the States give Bullet Club its just desserts because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people don't understand or want to admit the the trials and tribulations that Bullet Club went through.
I I'm I am the atypical fan that you can talk to because I didn't understand it, and I really enjoy wrestling. Like honestly, like everything that goes on outside of the WWE, I really enjoy it. And even as much as I knew what was going on outside of the parameters of WWE, every time I saw Bullet Club, I know I'm beating it to death because I say it a lot on the show, but I think it's so important to say that because I was that fan. I fucking hated them. I hated the Young Bucks, and it wasn't like I hate them because they're good. I hated them because I didn't understand what they were doing. You know, I really thought it was overrated. I thought it was fans that just wanted something else other than WWE to throw in WWE fans' faces, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
And I used to hate that narrative because in my head, that's what it was. So, like, I don't want to use you. Like, if I heard, before I knew you, like, if I heard you say Young Bucks like 5 years ago and I didn't know who you were, I'd be like, knock it off. Like, you're not even on the, you know what I mean? Like,
No, I do.
it's
'Cause I
kind of
feel
fucking,
too.
it's kind of fucking ignorant. Like, wow, no, that's not true at all. Like, they're that important to everything that's going on in the wrestling industry right now. Is Bullet Club is behind, and it's I just can't believe I didn't see it, or I didn't want to see it, or I was just too ignorant to open my fucking eyes to it. So I agree 100%. Yes, Bullet Club is that important to everything going on right now.
So the thing it's hard. So like for me, it's always been hard to defend the Young Bucks because as for all of the good wrestling that they have done, there's just as much of the straight super kicks and flippy shit and not wrestling, not wrestling.
They're
You
not
know what I
tag
mean?
team. They're not tag team wrestlers. Like I know, I get it,
Right.
and I love that shit. I love flippy shit. I love flippy shit. Doesn't make sense. Hardy Boys, Rockers, like the list goes on and on. But when I
Right.
got to the Young Bucks, I was like, knock it the fuck off. You guys aren't shit.
Right.
And they
And
kind of
and it's
were. They
it's
kind of
tough
were.
cuz right. And it's one of those things where like I say the same thing about Kenny. I think that their New Japan work just hits different from their American work because I think it's just two different animals. And I get again, I harp on this again, and it's like people like Kenny, people like the Young Bucks, people like I think Devitt's kind of worked the same. AJ Styles was kind of working the same, but there was a little difference. Vader was a different animal in Japan than he was in America. Hogan was a different animal than he was in America.
Because it's
Like
Japan. This is
right,
what I want people to understand that don't watch it. Is like, please, like I get it. It's a lot. It's a whole nother world. Watch these people that worked in WWE work in Japan and how they lock in it elevates everyone. You hear people talk about like working with other people, like sports, for example. I'll just use sports because it's the best way I can do it. Larry and Magic, right? Like all they talk about is how like when they got on the court together, that was it. Like no one raised that level of elite between those two guys, other than those two guys, because that's what happens when they go over Japan. It's just a whole different aura, man. Like everything over there is like has to be done so perfectly and precise. You don't have room for margin. You don't have margin for error over there, and not just in wrestling, like in life. That's what it seems like. Like they are just so fucking. You got to do this shit, and you got to make it right and make it work, and you got to tell a fucking story. They learn a lot over there, man, and if they don't step up and they get a legend standing across the ring from them and they don't fucking step up, they, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think
that hits them here, like for the people that care. And I think that's why I love the people that come from there, because they want to perfect their art craft. Like that long-winded version, like you go there and you become an elite, you become a Kenny Omega or an AJ Styles. You want to perfect your fucking craft, man. I can't explain any better than that. It's impressive.
The one Young Bucks match I tell people to watch who don't think the Young Bucks can either wrestle or tell a story or whatever is from Wrestle Kingdom 11. It's the Young Bucks versus Roppongi Vice of Beretta and Rocky Romero.
Okay.
Probably like it's only like 13 minutes long roughly, but from the 4 maybe 5 minute mark, Trent Beretta, now part of the Best Friends tag team, does a dive, no rope or no hands, tope con hilo over the top rope, and the Young Bucks move, and he just eats the ramp, and he's out for, it feels like forever, because they just are beating the crap out of Rocky Romero, but like the Young Bucks can't put Rocky Romero away, and then Beretta comes back, and then they build to the end from there. And I'm like, the story being told of like these teams being even, and then Beretta does that dive and misses, and then the Young Bucks can't put Rocky Romero away, and then it's the climb back for Roppongi Vice into the finish. Like that is one of the best stories told by the Young Bucks, and I think again, it's
20
because of
seconds you just
Japan.
sold me on that match. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's because it's Japan
It's
and
because it's
nobody
Japan.
watches it.
That aura, that feeling, you can feel that crowd. You can feel how intently everyone is watching that fucking match when they are in the Tokyo Dome or places that I can't
Kurgan
even.
Hall.
Thank you. Like yes, like
Osaka
there
Pro
is.
Hall. Yeah.
It's you can't. You can feel it. You can fucking feel it through the television. That when you watch the old school shit and people are reacting with just
And they're in
like
business suits.
nothing else, it
Business suits and
is
dresses all in the front row.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
Those old school crowds that literally watch it as theater and react to it as you're watching a Broadway play. It's so awesome. It's so fucking awesome.
That's the other thing too, is like there's a weekly Japanese magazine for wrestling, like Pro Wrestling Illustrated, but it's treated different. Like it's I have 2 or 3 issues. I have the Osprey World Cup or New Japan Cup cover. I have the Osprey New Japan title cover, and I think I might have one more, or I might just have those 2. I'm not sure. I want to try to get my hands on the Suzuki-gun cover. That is coming out soon. I think it's coming out. It either just came out or I got to try to find it. But it's no. There's not a. It's when wrestlers go on TV shows, news shows, game shows, whatever, they're not treated like uh, like jokes, I guess. I don't know what word I'm
I know
looking
what you're
for,
trying to say. Yeah.
but like nobody over there is going nobody over there when you go, oh, I like wrestling, nobody's reply automatically is, it's fake, right? And it's just culturally, like, don't get me wrong, there are a ton of different things culturally from them to us, but like just the way wrestling is treated there compared to here is completely different.
In its purest art form, it is still heralded as like a pure art form. Like
Right.
they never lost that over there. I've watched matches not knowing who was good, who was bad, who these people were on, and they've taken me on rides that I understood with Japanese commentary, and understood the story from bell to bell, and like, wow, what the fuck did I just watch, And I watch a lot of shit, and no one else does. Like, I don't know, no one else does that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just one of those things that like you can't you it can't be looked at the same because it's not the same.
It's not. It's really not.
So it's like I don't know. It's just one of those things that you're like, you just gotta like. That's why I don't like getting, and we'll get into it in a little bit, or later on. That's why I don't like having these talks with other people in Jobberknocker, because there's different mindsets, and it's different culturally.
So what frustrates me about that sometimes is they would get it. They don't have time. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. But man, if they would get it. They would get it, and it would. Yeah, it's just wild. It's just wild shit,
right?
Man.
And it's nothing. And to be completely honest, it's nothing against anybody else in Jobberknocker.
It's because they love this shit. When people love this shit the way that crew does, like, I want them to get there. If they're not, maybe they are. Maybe they are, and they're just breaking balls. Maybe
like
that's it too.
Breaks balls. Yeah,
maybe it is. Because like sometimes like some shit they say doesn't translate. We're talking about like to their IQ, like, and I'm like, are you breaking my balls? Like, you break, like, or you're just not there yet. Like, I don't know, but you guys love it and you get it. They've taught me so much. They've opened my eyes to so much on the WWE side that I'm so grateful for, because when I first came in, it was like I was really down and out. Like, they were at that. No one was really doing anything. Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins was Seth Rollins. Everyone wasn't. No one was a character yet. Like, that's what I was missing, and I'm so glad it happened. But there was other things going on that I would listen to that podcast, like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, and I just want to be able to kind of do that for that. You know what I mean? Like,
because of how
because we love it. We're good at this shit. We're good at this shit, and we all get it, and we all teach each other shit. And I think I want people to have these conversations with Nestle and JC.
Right. Exactly. I would love. The thing is I would love to watch. Like, my thing is I would love for them to watch this, like watch Wrestle Kingdom.
I hope they watch Wrestle. I'm hoping Sasha makes them at least check.
My thing is that like
certain matches.
My thing is that like I don't want them to. I don't know if their commentary is gonna be like to bust my balls, or if it's gonna be honest. You know what I mean?
And I'm okay with that. Like, because there is shit that maybe like we need to dial back. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we are too into it. I get it, but like, I want to have that conversation. I do. I want to have a real conversation. I would like to have okay, let's banter a little bit, and let's hash it out.
Right. If anyone on Jobberknocker watches Wrestle Kingdom in its entirety and wants to jump on the next podcast with us, then
I wouldn't even say that. Like, maybe a couple matches. Like, give me the last two. Like, there's 3 matches.
You got to give me Jay White Okada. You got to give me Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega.
Yep.
You got to give me. Actually, to be honest, you got to give me a good amount. You got to give me Kyrie. You got to give me FTR. You got to give me.
I'm more interested in Kyrie. So is Sasha? So that everyone was kind of thinking that's where we're jumping ahead, but everyone was thinking that's where Sasha was going to land, was against Kyrie, right? So if she showed up,
she's showing up. She's already there.
She's just announcing she's going to
been there
be.
for at least a week and a half now.
Oh wow!
And she's gonna announce I think she's coming out after the match, after Kyrie retains, and then they'll have a standoff, and then I think the match is going to be in February.
Okay, gotcha. I think you might have said that already. Sorry, because I'm looking at this card now, and I was just like, I saw that name, and I'm like, did we not touch on that? So, all right, that makes sense. But for me, like Jay White, okay, if anyone watches anything, like Jay White, Okada, Ospreay, Omega, the FTR match.
I think you got to watch at least one match with somebody you don't know.
Yeah,
but
that's where FTR. Oh, you know what? Watch Carl Anderson's Tama Tonga. I want people's thoughts on Tama Tonga. I want to know where I'm at with this kid and where everyone else is to seeing him. That's another reason why I want them to do this, because like now I'm into like, all right, you're seeing this shit for the first time. What are you seeing that maybe I'm biting on? You know, I don't know. But Carl Anderson, Tama Tonga, the FTR match, and Catch 22 versus Russian.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like, yeah, because I just think there's a lot. I understand this is a 13 match card and there's a lot, and it's going to be 4 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a big ask.
I mean, there's. When I look at the card, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5 matches on here, maybe 6, so maybe just about half the card that I don't think is gonna do well or is gonna be great. But at the same time, like in 2 nights of WrestleMania, are there gonna be 6 misses, or are there gonna be more?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I know it's it's almost like crossing sports, but like.
I'm so glad they're back to one night, though. I love that. Wrestle Kingdom.
Is there more? Are there going to be more? I'm willing to bet there's more bangers on this card than both nights of WrestleMania.
Wow.
Because the story between Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga.
Where is that going?
Ren Narita and Zack Sabre Jr. is sneaky gonna be sneaky great.
Zack Sabre fucking steps. Whether you like him or not, I'm hit or miss with him. He's gonna be fucking bullseye here. It's gonna be
Ospreay versus Omega is going an hour and it's gonna be nonstop. Actually, it's gonna be like 5-10 minutes.
Imagine they go 90 minutes.
Dude, they're going so you know how New Japan's on Access?
Yeah.
So New Japan on Access, they're showing Wrestle Kingdom. I think they're doing. I forget how many episodes of Wrestle Kingdom they're doing, but the Will Ospreay Kenny Omega episode is the only match on that episode. So I don't know how Access works. I don't watch Access at all. So if there's commercials, you gotta suspect that match is at least going like 45.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with commercials and everything. So it's like Jay White Okada is not gonna miss. Like
that's gonna be fucking insanity, bro.
FTR versus Bishimon is going to be good because FTR is in it. As much as I'm on the fence or about FTR.
About FTR, really?
Yeah, they're not okay. They're not bad. They're one of the best tag teams in the world, probably one of the best tag teams in the last 10, 15, 20 years. But I'm not FTR fans. But I don't hate FTR or don't want to watch FTR. Okay. I always like watching FTR, but I'm not buying an FTR jacket. I'm not buying an FTR t-shirt. I'm not. If they're at a meet and greet, if there's a meet and greet and they're by themselves and nobody else is there, yeah, okay. I'll get a picture because they're there. But I'm not like going to a meet and greet because FTR is there.
No, I get that. Yes. All right, yeah, I get that. Yeah. But they are literally one of the greatest tag teams I've ever watched.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
love tag
Absolutely.
team wrestling. Is I fucking love it, and it's just wild. What? So can we go there? Do we go there now? Like, are we in
If you want to
the?
go to Wrestle, if you want to start Wrestle Kingdom now, we can. Yeah.
But just yeah, all right. So I mean, do I kind of roll into FTR what we were talking about before we went on the air with
Yeah.
like?
We can start with FTR. Absolutely. Go off.
Okay, so
Sound off.
I'm gonna go off because I mean this I probably should have hit record when I was earlier and all jacked up. So if you haven't watched the Job and Knocker Awards, great episode. I'm not even through it yet. I started it today. I apologize for not getting through it before the show started, but I wasn't expecting to get upset with Adam Nessel the way I did about saying how FTR they're not on. He didn't. They're not on the T. They're not on AEW's TV every week, so he couldn't pick them as best tag team. I think it was, and was like, "But do you understand?" And he said something about them not being champs. Were they never AEW champs? Didn't they
No,
lose?
they were.
They lost to the Acclaimed, right?
No. They lost to the Acclaim, but they didn't lose to the Acclaim. They didn't drop the titles to the Acclaimed.
So here's my thing with FTR and
They
why
lost them to the Young Bucks.
okay, all
They
right,
beat Adam Page and Kenny Omega at All Out 2020.
okay.
Had 3 successful defenses, and then at Full Gear 2020, they lost to the Young Bucks.
Wow, so that was the last time they held it.
Yep.
So
November 7th, 2020, they dropped.
and that was it for them.
Yep. 63 days.
Okay, so but the thing with that is they're so littered with gold that it didn't even dawn on me that these belts were somewhere else until they got to the Acclaimed. But every time they showed up on TV looking the way they did, they look like champions. So whoever they were in the ring with, regardless of what titles they were holding, it was an important match for those people in the ring with them, right? And them being who they were and what they've been doing the last at least year. There's their fucking match card. They wrestled on AAA, right? They wrestled on AAA Mania. They've wrestled in. I thought I saw like Rev Pro. Like
yeah, they've essentially wrestled for every big promotion. They've wrestled with Ricky Steamboat this year. They've wrestled for any promotion.
okay, so I'm gonna try to put this as smooth as I can. They have literally done everything they said they were gonna do. They are the definition of territory wrestling, and that was their main objective. Not being on AEW TV all week, every week defending the AEW titles. They have taken the AAA titles, the New Japan titles, and there was another one too. And they have literally gone around the fucking globe and wrestled on all these different platforms, giving exposure to AEW, right? That is, no one has done that since the days of the territory. Not one team has been more important to a promotion by doing something like that and making the fucking rounds, not just on the independents where no one is watching. We're talking Triple A Mania, the WrestleMania of Triple A. Whoever gave a fuck, I'm sorry. Like, I never gave a fuck about Triple A or Lucha Relay. It's just not my thing. But did I watch it when I knew they were going to be on the card? You're fucking right, I did. That's how good they are. They are not bringing attention just to AEW, but everywhere they fucking go. People are going to watch Wrestle Kingdom this year because they are on it. All due respect to Sasha and Carl Anderson, but like FTR is just as important as those three on this card.
So here, the thing is like, if they were on AEW television week in, week out, battling for team titles or doing whatever, I feel like their impact or their standing with wrestling in the community wouldn't be the same. I feel like they are still a commodity. I still feel like they are still an attraction because they're not on AEW television every week. And when they come back to AEW after dropping all these belts, excuse me, because I think that's what's lining up. I think they'll drop to Bishimon, and I think they'll drop the AAA titles to whoever they're facing. excuse me, facing next, that once they are rid of holding all these belts, then they'll be on AEW TV all this time. They'll take their rightful spot as top of the AEW tag team division, and then it's really a question of if and when they let it go, and how. Like if FTR was in AEW weekly now, they'd probably be 2 or 3 time AEW tag team champions right now.
And who gives a shit? Like,
here's the thing. Here's my feeling on the Usos, because they have been consistently a top 5 tag team since they got going. Once I think towards the end of them wearing face paint into not wearing face paint anymore, I think that's when it started to click for them. Not as a tag team, but I think television and the complete package wise. Here's the thing. Here's my issue with the Usos being the best tag team of all time or whatever, however you want to phrase it. They are 529 days as SmackDown champions and 223 days as Raw tag team champions. So that is a combined 752 days of being dual tag team champions, and that is no fault of their own, because WWE has never prioritized consistently tag team wrestling.
No, right, yeah, not since. I mean, the last time it was really heavily involved was Hardy's, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. That was probably the last time tag team wrestling was main event, like worthy, like those TLC matches. Like that was it. That was the catalyst of tag team wrestling for WWE.
Right. I think it's just like. So, like, to say the Usos are the best tag team of the year, yeah, I guess that's fine. But they're, in my opinion, they're not better than FTR.
I don't know how they are.
Open.
Actually, that's ballsy. That's ballsy.
No, okay, I take that back. Actually. Yeah. I think in 2 years they won't be as good as Aussie Open.
And I get it. WWE, they can't do what FTR is doing, and I understand that, and that's the argument. So, like, they have to be on TV every day. But
they don't need to. They just here's all I've ever wanted at WWE when it comes to tag team wrestling. I just want a consistent number of like 4 or 5 tag teams, and just
you want a division. You want a tag team division, which we have not had since the time I just mentioned. Like that was
why has NXT consistently had a better tag team division than the main roster?
Man, all they had to do was take Alpha, DIY, and the Revival and bring them up with the Usos, and that is
and then add in the New Day.
In the New Day, and you have literally pay-per-views you can base main event tag team matches around. The throwaway pay-per-views that you don't want your main event guys like Roman, you don't want them to work. You know what you do? You have banger after banger of tag team fucking matches. And you could American Alpha and FTR could have main evented any WWE pay-per-view ever, including a WrestleMania. I will go in the books. If you're telling me that the women could have main evented, which is no disrespect, that's awesome. Great. FTR and American Alpha for the tag team titles could have main evented a WrestleMania. They were that fucking good at what they did in the ring.
And then you add you can, again, just to throw another tag team in there that could have done extremely well is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like them together, they have so much tag team history. It's just one of those things where, and then like for a time you had the Undisputed Era with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
Right.
Like, and like even now you have like the Creed brothers, you have Schism, you have those two the two blonde guys I think that were just pretty deadly. Thank you. You have Imperium. You have like it's just one of those things where it's like there's no excuse, there's no reason that your tag team division is so bad or that NXT is so consistently better that like it's almost like part of my issue is like the Usos are the best tag team or the tag team of the year by default because there's not any like there's not another team that compares. You know
because
what I'm saying?
they haven't built anything. They
Right.
didn't. They just let it. It has fell by the fucking wayside, and it's not due to talent. There's one thing you don't have tag teams. You're making makeshift tag teams just to fill up your division. There literally the last 5 years. There's been no fucking excuse. The
Right.
Good Brothers, fucking Anderson and Gallows, they were still really
Yeah,
good when
thank
they
you.
showed
Sorry.
back up in 2012. Like
Yeah.
when they came back and jumped the Usos, by the way, on Monday
Right.
Night Raw. Right?
I
They
was
jumped the
so
fucking
hyped.
guardrail.
So hyped.
The internet went fucking, as well as myself, went fucking bonkers.
Right. And it's just like it's like one of those things that like again, it's not the Usos' fault,
It's no, absolutely not.
but like
From the face paint to now, the way they've become
sprouted,
two completely
evolved,
different
yeah.
teams and evolves is the perfect word. Incredible. I'm not taking any away from the Usos. Yes, they are fucking awesome. They are. But like you said, where's their catalog of like important? I can't think of one. That's gonna come back and bite me in the ass because I'm sure there's, but you know what I mean. Like I can't think of one pinnacle moment for them that didn't involve being next to the bloodline, and there should have been. I'm not saying they weren't good. They should have had that. They should have had all that before the bloodline. They should have had that. Destroy fucking the Good Brothers. Destroy if you're gonna let the Good Brothers walk and you're gonna let Revival FTR walk. Good. You know what? Have the Usos fucking dominate them then on the way out the door. They didn't even do that much for him.
Yeah, it's
or maybe they did, and I just don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, again, it's just like there's no reason. Like, there's no reason. It's the Usos and the New Day, and that's it.
And that's it.
And
that's
like,
it.
Oh, and not the. I keep wanting to say primetime players, not them. Montez Ford and the other guy.
Oh yeah,
D'Angelo Dawkins, whatever. Who are they again?
Jesus Christ! Are you fucking kidding me? Wow.
I keep wanting to say the primetime players, but that's not them.
Oh, that's terrible.
God. Now I gotta find this. Hold on.
We're up and we want the smoke. Because we're up. Are you fucking kidding? Why am I drawing a blank?
Were they never Street Profits?
Thank you.
There they go. I was scrolling through the Raw Tag Team Champions, and I got to like, so the Usos are number 88, and I went down to 80.
Yeah.
Oh, the Viking Raiders, such an underrated tag team.
They could have. I wasn't huge on them in Ring of Honor, but they could have. Another tag team.
I like Hanson. Hanson's a local guy.
That's right, you said that. Oh man.
But speaking, so FTR versus B Shimon. B Shimon won the won the World Tag League for the second time in a row, because of course they did. So I have B Shimon winning the IWGP. I have them beating FTR. I think that's because I think it's just FTR's time to. I think it's just FTR's time to lose all their belt. Again, I was thinking this before we said anything. I think it's just FTR's time to lose all the belts and then work for AEW full time.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come in and probably beat the Acclaimed or.
I really hope they don't go back. I really hope they don't go back to WWE. I hope they stick around AEW.
No, I think they are. I think they are. I think they're staying with AEW. I don't think they have an issue with AEW.
I don't think so either.
Behind the scenes. I know Cash Wheeler.
Look what it's allowed them to do.
Huh?
Like, look what it's allowed them to do in the
Right,
last 2 years.
right.
How do you have a problem with that?
Right. I think, and that's the other thing too. I think their case is different from like
Right.
Miro or other people that have been kept off TV for whatever reason. I think their case is different. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're a different case, and I think the other thing too is I think that they are happy in AEW, and they
Seems it.
like the schedule that it provides them. So like I think that I just think that it's time for FTR to drop all their belts and focus on AEW, and take home the AEW World Tag Team titles, um, and bring up the AEW Tag Team division
Mm-hmm.
because it is lacking. I think you've got the Acclaimed, you've got the Gun Club, you've got you had Swerve in Our Glory, but I real quick on Swerve in Our Glory. I'm so glad they're feuding now. I'm
I
so
love
excited.
that.
I don't like either one of these guys individually, but I'm so
In
excited
a
for this
in
feud.
a program, it's going to be awesome.
You'll have the Young Bucks once they're done with this trio stuff. You'll have the Lucha Brothers once they're done with this trio stuff. So I think 2023 is going to be the a great tag team year for um for AEW. Um, so I think it's I think it's the year of FTR is wrapping up shortly,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. I don't want to say it's about time,
It
but I
is.
think it's the right time.
It's the right. Good. Yes, it is. Because any longer, it's gonna wear out its welcome.
Um, so I think again, I think this is going to be probably the best match Bishimon will ever put on.
Okay,
Um,
I can
be,
agree with that.
because it's FTR. Um, so um,
All
all
right,
right.
so we get that
So
out of the way. So we
yep.
get the tag team.
So
I agree with you. I think this is them. Yeah, dropping the titles to these two and wrapping it up in New Japan, and then wherever you want to go from there. I don't know if you want to start from the top.
So real quick, let's just do the kickoff matches.
Yeah.
So the first one is a 3-minute exhibition. It
What is
is
this?
Raihohi Iowa
Yeah.
taking on Bolton Oleg. I did brief research on Oleg. He's a wrestler, like a mat wrestler, traditional wrestler, whatever you want to call it, um, who I guess was touted by WWE and New Japan. He chose New Japan, um, and he's been in the dojo. And I think this year we're gonna see him. We're gonna see him a lot, and hopefully not shoved down our throats, but enough. And I think he's just one of the prospects of New Japan that will rise to the top of the mid to top card coming up. But this is the first look for him in front of a New Japan crowd, and it's on Wrestle Kingdom. So we'll see what he brings. And again, it's only three. It's only going to be 3 minutes, so it's one of those things where it's just going to be show us what you got and then get out. So it's not gonna. There, it's a way for them to mitigate the potential mistakes of a 5 to 10 minute match, and just get him in, do some stuff, and then move on. You're muted, my friend.
Sorry. Yeah, there's no thank you. There's no reason for me not to watch a 3 minute match. So you're getting my eyes on the talent.
Right.
Regardless, I see what the guy looks like, and we're moving on
Yep.
into the New Japan Rambo and
Yep. So
RANBO
this is what's
to this challenge.
this is just going to be a Rambo is with time random entries, plenty of surprises. It's kind of just going to be like a kind of like a rumble.
Yeah, that's what it
Um,
looks like.
but the final four will compete at New Year's Dash, which is January 5th,
Yeah.
to determine the first King of Pro Wrestling trophy holder of 2023.
Okay.
Real quick about New Year's Dash. New Japan put this out a while ago. New Year's Dash is going to be absolutely random. What I mean by that, and I'm trying to find their wording. Nobody the card is not going to get announced.
Okay.
So in all actuality, this is going to be the only match announced for
New Year's Dash, and
New
then
Year's Dash.
this
But
will be
here's
this will
what
be the only thing we
here
know
we go.
heading into it.
Yeah, so 2023 sees the return of New Year's Dash to the calendar. This exciting start to the year traditionally sees a mystery card revealed to the audience, staff, and wrestlers as the event gets underway. On January 5th, 2023, however, things get an added twist. This year, the card will not be announced at all. Instead, matches will be revealed as wrestlers make their entrance. Back in October, the night before Rumble on 44th Street saw a similar concept, with chaotic results and a raft of big time surprises. What might be in store on January 5th? Make sure you watch live in English on New Japan World, or better yet, be a part of the action in person. So this reminds me a lot of there's a promotion out in California called Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. They have amazing shows. I have a bunch of their DVDs. They have a show called Mystery Vortex. You don't know the matches, and nobody knows the matches till the whole thing is you don't know who you're facing till the music is played.
Wow.
So that's what this feels like. So, this is actually, to me, very exciting. I like this idea of.
Does it say how many participants are in it?
The
I don't have that on
KOPW? No.
Yeah, okay.
They're keeping that a surprise.
Gotcha.
So there's not really much to say when it comes to this. I think it's gonna, like, if I had to guess, probably you're gonna have Toru Yano. You're gonna maybe have Ishii. You're probably gonna have Bad Luck Fale. Maybe Makabe. Like, I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to look at the card and try to formulate a guess. Maybe Taichi, maybe Shingo.
Someone like Ace, could someone like an Ace Austin be in there?
Maybe. I don't. I
would like to say, after everything after everything he's been through with New Japan in not the G1, sorry, the Super Junior and the Tag League, I was really hoping to see this kid get a spot on the card. So I hope at least here, just I would on the Wrestle Kingdom card. Just
I would prefer Alex Zane over Ace Austin.
Fine.
But to me that's more likely than Ace Austin.
Okay, I'll take that.
And that's just like an Impact contractual thing. You know what I mean? It's not. It's nothing against
he's more
Ace.
Of a free agent.
Right. So it's just gonna be. We don't know who.
Right. Yeah. All right, cool.
So next we have a 6-man tag. We have Satoshi Kojima, which, real quick on Satoshi Kojima, he is currently the Noah, which for Noah it's GHC tag team champion with Takashi Sagura. When he wrestled on the Road to Tokyo Dome shows, he didn't have a title with him, so I don't know if he's going to have that title with him.
Okay.
New Japan generally doesn't care if you have another company's belt and wear it out. It's not something they care about, like WWE, cough cough, Carl Anderson, cough cough.
Right.
So it would be Satoshi Kojima, Yuji Nagata, and Toge Makabe taking on Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask. So there's a lot of history. This is the Antonio Inoki Memorial match as well. There's a lot of legends of New Japan in this match. I think all former champions of some kind. So it's not going to be a barn burner, but it's just going to be a very good nostalgic match.
Okay.
I have Suzuki, Fujinami, and Tiger Mask coming out of this. I think
With you on that.
with Fujinami coming back, with Minoru Suzuki dissolving Suzuki Gun and then declaring he wants the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they're gonna start building Suzuki, and I have some bold predictions for Minoru Suzuki in 2023, and we'll
Ooh.
see how it goes. But I just think this is just going to be a nice tribute to Antonio Inoki, and it's just going to be a nice feel good match.
Okay. Gotcha.
The first title match we have is Catch 22, your IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champions of Francesco Akira and TJP, taking on the Super Junior Tag League 2022 winners, the team of Chaos, Leo Rush, and Yo. I would love for Leo Rush, I would love for Catch 22 to retain, but I just have the feeling that the cool cousin and the loser cousin are going to come out of this because I just think they're up on Leo Rush, and
Seems
I
like
was
they're
doing
high. It seems like they're high on at least Leo.
yeah, I was doing some light research on Yo, and he's won more IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships than I thought.
Okay.
But uh, it's just like it just feels like they're gonna take the titles off Catch 22.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, I'm gonna go the other way on that just because I feel like this is their moment to kind of like shine. I feel like they haven't had that big, really like look at us win. And he's a young talent, and TJP is just fucking awesome. So I'd really like to see the two of them. This is, I guess, more of a personal opinion. Like, I just want to see these two walk away with a win in Wrestle Kingdom. Both these guys,
so I
that's my
again,
hope.
personally, I want TJP and Akira to walk away with this. I really
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
Um,
I think it's
I
well
just
deserved.
think they're the overall better tag team. I think that like Leo Rush and Yo are great separately, but maybe not great when it comes to Yo, but I just think that like it's one of those things that like they shouldn't lose because they're the better tag team.
But
But
this is where you say New Japan does New Japan things, and
exactly.
right, yeah.
So like again, there will be a part of me until it happens where Leo Rush is gonna. I'm just waiting for Leo to turn on Yo.
I can see that.
So until that happens, I just it's gonna be a feeling I have. This match is gonna be so fast though. Like you're gonna have to watch it on -1 speed to
Yeah.
watch it all. I just think it's gonna go 10 to 12 minutes of just nonstop action.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have our the first ever IWGP title defense, IWGP Women's title defense for Kairi, as she takes on Tom Nakano.
I know nothing about her.
Right. So Tom Nakano
Click on that.
is a 3-time Artist of Stardust champion, which is a trios title. She's a former Wonder of Stardom champion. She held that title for 301 days. And she is the current Goddesses of Stardom champion, which is a tag title. So she's not a walk in the park. She's a well-deserved champion.
Okay, good.
So it's.
I guess when I seen Nakano, not what I was expecting to see when I saw the image. So she's kind of built like Kyrie a little bit.
Yeah. So my thing is that I would have, again, nothing against Tom Nakano. I just think there were maybe, I don't want to say better choices, because again, I think that's a knock on her, but I just think
It
there
feels
was.
like this is very Kyrie spotlighted, a very
Right,
Kyrie spotlighted
exactly. This
match.
is
Yes.
somebody who can work well with. Not saying there's not that everybody
Get her
can't
where
work
she
well,
needs to
but
go until the final bell sounds.
right. This is
Yeah.
someone who like Tom Nakano will put up a good fight. She'll be a good challenge for Kyrie, but
Mhm.
they don't want Kyrie. Like, I don't even know if this is even correct, but they don't want to overshine Kyrie by putting her with uh
That's what it feels like.
Saya or Julia, or to some degree Starlight Kid. They want Kyrie to be the focal point here while still having a good uh uh back and forth matchup.
I agree.
And then possibly, if you want to believe everything that's being written, which I always take with a grain of salt, and when I say a grain, I mean a bottle. Um, Sasha Banks will show up after Kyrie retains, um, to challenge Kyrie for October. New Japan's already advertising the show. It is Battle in the Valley. Um,
It's February.
yes, it takes place February 18th at the San Jose Civic Center. Um,
Hmm.
it will be 10 p.m.
Seven
Eastern Standard Time. So that's 7 p.m.
daytime.
Pacific.
Beautiful.
Um, so we will be covering that because
Fuck yeah.
it looks like it's
And
going to be a
last
dope
year's Battle
show.
in the Valley was pretty fucking awesome too.
Oh,
So
was it?
I mean, I remember really enjoying watching. It was during the summertime though. I think it was like June or July. It was a really good. I think we were talking about last week, how like it was like outside of the LA Coliseum. It just had I don't know where they're doing it this year, but you just said San Diego, so it's not the same place. But
Right,
they gave Battle in the Valley the SummerSlam type feel to New Japan's
right.
pay-per-view lineup last year. So it intrigues me to just the look of it intrigues me to tune back in again this year. And if it's hopefully it is Sasha, man. Like I mean, I got a quick thing on her and just everything I've kind of said about her leading up to this. I know we got into it last episode, but I told you I watched the 2019 Royal Rumble, right? And the way she was handled, I think we talked about it over text a little bit. I'm just going to run down Sasha's what went down that night. She wrestled Ronda Rousey, and not only did she get pinned by Ronda, she actually tapped out to her on the outside. So, like when you see that in the middle of a match, like they had her on the outside, she's tapping. Obviously, it doesn't count. You immediately think now it's gonna go Sasha's way towards the end of the night, towards the end of the match, right? It doesn't. She gets pinned, and it's like, and there is just this. I don't know. This is where she's really good. I don't know how real all this was, but like she was emotional from the minute the bell rang to the minute the match finished. If you haven't watched this match, I highly suggest going back and watching this match and how the women's division flows throughout the 2019 Royal Rumble, because it's seeing all this now in 2022. This seems like an interesting pay-per-view to watch. So after the match, she kind of walks the aisle. She's looking back and she's doing that whole, do I go back? Do I shake her hand? Whatever. And once she gets back to Ronda, she's like, I think she says thank you, but then she throws the floor up in her face. Maybe she doesn't shake her hand and she walks away. And it's like, whoa, okay. Like now there's something going on with her and Ronda. And I think I looked at her match listing after this, and I don't think her and Ronda Rousey cross paths after this match. I'll double check. I should have this, and I apologize that I don't. Another
What
interesting. Oh, sorry, good.
what were your feelings on that whole thing with and her and Naomi?
So I'm going to get to that right after this.
Okay.
I didn't like the way she portrayed herself. It felt like she was kicking and screaming. Anytime she got handed the tag team belts, tag team title belts, instead of taking that belt, I don't even have it. Instead of taking that belt and saying, "Hey, I'm going to make the best of this situation. Maybe she took it as a punishment. I don't know. And instead of her saying, let's go out and be the best women's tag team there is, and because there's a shadow over those tag team titles, even though, and we've gone into it before, I'm not getting into it now, but there's something up with those titles, right? Like, it kind of is a slap in the face still, it feels like, and that's how they took it. But instead of her doing the right thing and saying, all right, no, let's just bust some fucking ass, and let's show them that we're not going to kick and scream, right? Which she did it twice. She did it with Bayley, and then she did it with Naomi, and that really turned me off to Sasha Banks. But I didn't realize how not close I didn't watch her story progress as Sasha Banks throughout her career, throughout her time in WWE. Back to that Royal Rumble 2019, Becky taps out to Asuka. I don't know if she dropped the title to her or if Asuka retained. She taps out to Asuka. Becky Lynch taps out to Asuka and then enters the Royal Rumble and wins. After Sasha loses to Ronda not once in the match, but twice. I looked at the end of that pay-per-view event, and I started to understand maybe some of Sasha's frustrations. I don't agree with the way she handled them, but after that pay-per-view, I kind of want to see her do something big here, and I hope whatever's in store for her at Wrestle Kingdom, she does the right way. That's all I got to say. Like, I don't want to go too further because I don't know how much we're going to do. I think you said there's going to be some hopes for 2023. I don't know if we can get there, but
do you think she's a locker room issue? Do you think she's an attitude issue?
She is an absolute attitude issue, and she is. Yeah, man. She can't control her emotions, you know. And as someone who myself at times, you know, kind of falls into that category, I think maybe I don't know. I don't know if she got fucked with a little bit, if it was a test to see, hey, can we do something to her and see how she reacts? And she did exactly what they thought they were going to do. And that played out the next 2 years. And the fact that she couldn't figure it out and fix it, I could be 100% wrong. She could be lined up. I'm going to say it. She could be lined up right now to walk into the Royal Rumble in 2023.
Yeah.
She could.
I see what you're saying.
And yeah. I didn't know if we were going to hold it off, but my hope for Sasha Banks is she shows up at Wrestle Kingdom on, what is this, January 5th?
4th.
And then on January 28th, she walks into the Women's Royal Rumble. And I think that would be fucking awesome if she can handle it.
So,
and of all the Four Horsemen women, there never in a million years where I thought I'd be saying this about Sasha Banks, but rewatching the 2019 Royal Rumble, I didn't watch anything after that. But, man, it kind of swung me on her a little bit.
So I've never really been big on Sasha.
Me either.
I think her best match is the Iron Woman match with Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was her peak.
I agree.
I never cared for the boss gimmick. I thought it was a different. I thought it was a
very WWE. It's very, very
coating.
WWE.
I thought it was a different coat of paint on the same via, like this, whatever that saying is.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like
fresh coat of paint.
Yeah, I think it was just a fresh coat of paint on a stale gimmick, and it's not that it was her gimmick that was stale. I think that top like ego, like that boss ego, whatever, like has been played out in the wrestling industry so much and so often, especially in WWE, that Vince, like, he just threw a new coat of paint on it, brought in Snoop Dogg, and then gave her brass knucks that said legit boss, and then said, this is a different gimmick now. You know what I mean? Like, I think she never did it for me. I think a lot of this is jealousy. And I think a lot of it too is just thinking too much of yourself, because like, I thought, like, I understand and get the frustrations of the tag titles. I get it.
I do.
Because the history with WWE and tag titles is never is I shouldn't say never good, but it hasn't been good for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I
There's a
think
stigma.
that
There's a stigma to it for sure.
right, and I think that if they're bad with the men's titles, they're either going to be just as bad or worse with the women's titles.
A thousand times worse.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand not wanting to get saddled with those,
But in the
but at
same
the same
regard,
time, like,
you got to
you gotta
do.
you gotta take for you
You take it
gotta.
once.
It's that not just that, but I
Make the
think
best.
you also
Make the
gotta
best of
take
a bad situation, right?
right.
Like
Well,
that's
it's
what
not
this is
just
all
that.
about.
Right. I just think that also I feel bad for Naomi because like I feel like yes, you make your own choices, you lie in your own bed,
But
blah
I
blah
feel
blah.
like she was
But I
never
felt
vocal. I was always surprised at how she got handled because she was always so good. I don't remember ever her being her like, oh, that's an issue. You sound like an
I feel
issue.
right, but I feel like she got pressured into all this by Sasha. But
Yeah.
at the same time, she's a grown woman who can make her own decisions. So she didn't have to walk out with Sasha, but she did, and she hasn't like because I would love to see her in the bloodline right now.
Right.
Like
That'd
her
be crazy.
added to the bloodline would be great for her, and I think it would be great for the bloodline because now you can throw the
And it's
SmackDown or the Raw Women's title in there.
and it's
You
the
know what I
perfect
mean?
way to wash away that glow, which was great. Like her, Naomi, the glow was great, but once it wore off and she kept doing it, it just reminded me of those like
Or
old
do it in
school
red.
'90s, those old school like early '90s gimmicks, mid '90s gimmicks that you're like, oh, we're just gonna throw something colorful at you, and you're gonna end up
Right.
liking it because it's so colorful. That the bloodline would have been the perfect rinse of that and show a little bit of a meaner streak, you know?
Right.
Like,
But I
yeah,
think you can also like maybe do that in red. You know what I mean?
what?
She comes out in red.
Yeah.
Like red glow. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a
Wow.
darker
There you go. Yeah.
she kind of still has that glow gimmick, but now it's more bloodline turned.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sick. I like
So
that.
I just think that like, and I don't think the bloodline was a thing when they left. I know Roman was
No,
on top,
because
but
he
I
had just
don't.
gotten in trouble too, I think. So he was off TV. So
Okay,
it was just Jay. Jimmy's her guy, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm being told from the
whichever one.
sidelines it was. So I think
He
if
was off TV. He wasn't even around, and I think that might have been part of the reason that all that went down too. Like there was
right,
other stuff going on with her partner.
right. So I think it was. I think if I'm Naomi, I'm doing what I can to come back and trying to get my hand in the bloodline stuff.
100%.
But so I don't think. Here's the other thing too. I don't think Sasha's beating Kyrie at Battle in the Valley.
Okay.
I don't. I think she'll inevitably be IWGP Women's Champion, but I don't think it's happening that quick. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think they're
We'll save that.
I don't think they're putting the belt on Kyrie just to have her drop after
true,
on
too.
her second title defense to
That's true,
Sasha
you're right.
Banks. Or
Right.
Mercedes KV or whatever the hell she's going to be called.
She should just be called Mercedes. That's a perfect one word name. Like
I hate one word names for the most part.
really, see,
Like
I think Mercedes works for her though.
Sting was great. Like Sting is iconic, obviously, but
Right.
like Tajiri's iconic. But like for the most part, there's just something about one word names that like.
Oh wow, yeah, it's never really bothered me that much.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what it is? It's WWE dropping a first name.
It's the dropping of
That's what it is, honestly.
I can see what you're saying. That's understandable. It almost makes you dislike
and there's
it.
also some like corny like indie wrestlers that have had like one word names that have just been like, really? Couldn't think of something else?
Right.
You have to go with fucking like I'd rather you come out as vacant than fucking hit randomizer on a word generator.
I love it.
Fucking Mark. So moving on.
Yeah.
The match, one of my top 3 matches for Wrestle Kingdom that I'm excited for. We have the crowning of the first ever IWGP World. Or excuse me, it's not IWGP. I keep saying that because I just assume every title they have is IWGP. Excuse me. Is the crowning of the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Champion with the chocolate bar title. It is Ren Narita taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like technical wrestling, if you like catch 'em as catch can catch, then this is the match you're going to want to watch.
I like that right there.
Ren
That was,
Narita,
that,
the
that was a
son of
little.
Strongman.
That was a little Conway commentary coming in there. That was nice. But anyway, go ahead, continue.
You have Ren Narita, the son of Strong Style, the protege of Katsuyori Shibata, taking on the technical wizard. I call him the slippery snake because he just
He really
moves
is,
in.
man. It's
He's
fucking
liquid, dude.
absurd.
He's
Like
water.
scary sometimes.
Zack Sabre Jr. I would absolutely love Ren Narita to get the win here. I think if he gets the win here, it is arguably one of the most impressive tournament runs of any New Japan, and that's without doing any deep dive history. But for Ren Narita to win this title and defeat Zack Sabre Jr., he would have gone through Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, and Sonata, and then to wrap that up with Zack Sabre Jr. Like that's a tournament run. That's a great tournament to win. So for me, my heart says it's gonna be Zack Sabre, or my gut says it's gonna be Zack Sabre Jr., but my heart wants it to be Ren Narita.
Gotcha.
I think Ren Narita will get it eventually. If not, he'll get another title from them because I think he's going to be a great star along with Shota Umino, and a few others whose names are escaping me right now. But I just think 2023 is going to be like Zack Sabre Jr.'s year, Minoru Suzuki's year, and it really has the chance to be Taichi's year. And with Suzuki Gun breaking up, and I know I meant to talk about this earlier, but I'll talk about it another time. But with Suzuki Gun breaking up, I think this is the time for Taichi, out of anybody in that group, to step up and break out.
Gotcha.
But I think Zack Sabre Jr. walks into 2023 with this title.
I think that's fair.
And I don't know. I just think I think it's going to be great for Ren Narita to win this, but again, I just think it's going to be Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think so too. I think, I think a big win for him on. I don't know. I haven't really followed his win-loss record on Wrestle Kingdom, but I feel like this is a really nice spot for him to walk away with some gold. So I agree there.
Where am I going? Here am I going?
You're looking up his record at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. So where is he? He lost the never open weight 6-man tag team title 4-way gauntlet. He beat Tomohiro Ishii for the Rev Pro undisputed British heavyweight title.
Rev Pro title. Okay.
He won a 6-man tag night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom 14. He defended successfully the Rev Pro title on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom 14.
Okay.
He lost the tag titles with Taichi to Gorillas of Destiny at Wrestle Kingdom 15. He lost the tag titles to Bishamon last year at Wrestle Kingdom 16.
Okay.
And then on the pre-show, he lost a 6-man tag.
So he has not walked away with New Japan gold.
No, he's walked in with it, but not has walked out.
He won the Rev Pro title. All right, so yeah, this is a good spot for him. Then I like that. I'm taking Zack Sabre Jr. to be the first, the inaugural New Japan World Television Title Championship.
So now we get to one of the first one. I think what should be a bigger marquee matchup, but isn't.
I think it's for a reason. I think. All right, Ken.
We have the IWGP Never Openweight Championship. We have Tama Tonga trying to regain his title from Carl Anderson, who is the current champion. And Carl Anderson once again makes history in New Japan, being the first contracted WWE wrestler to ever wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom, and possibly for he's wrestled before for New Japan under contract, but this is the first time a WWE contracted wrestler will wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom.
Wild.
Oh, I have Tama Tonga. I just think the story that they've played is being very good, and it's just set up for Tama Tonga.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Tama Tonga wins. Does Wikipedia says with Luke Gallows and Tama Tonga with Jado? I don't know if you're seeing that. Does that mean anything to you that both of them will be there? If that is true, does that sweeten the pot to this, or make you think that something else is in the works, or we just Kyle Anderson's going to come in, give him the belt, and be on his fucking way, and we're done with this? Like, should I not go any further with it? Because here's my thing. Like I said on the last episode, I'm going to be real interested Monday night in what AJ Styles has to say. I didn't watch this one was a fucking recap. So, like I said, AJ acknowledging that Kyle Anderson will be in Japan. Didn't say for what, but he did say, he's taking care of some business in Japan. So when WWE does that, they're letting you know. They're never, ever going to tell you that something else is going on somewhere else in the world. They won't mention. Cody hasn't even mentioned AEW, man. Like, I don't even think those letters came out of his mouth.
He did on the Stone Cold podcast.
Did he? Okay, but like on televised.
Was an AEW contracted wrestler, and he did the Stone Cold podcast.
But on Raw or SmackDown?
No, it was just that podcast that they did on the network.
Okay, fair enough. So maybe
but I get what you're saying. Like,
so because I'm going to jump ahead here. AEW hasn't mentioned Kenny at all going to Wrestle Kingdom. I don't think so either. Yeah. So the fact that that WWE has said the word Japan came out of their mouth on Monday Night Raw for this, and AEW isn't even. I can't wait to get home and see what happens tonight, because it's not even being mentioned right now. So I've had
AEW next to me going all night.
Okay.
It's been on mute, so I don't know or low enough where I can't hear it.
Okay.
So I don't know if during the trios match
it got mentioned.
They said it got mentioned. I don't know.
So Callis has been messing around on Dark or Elevation with Takashi.
Yeah, Takashi. I don't know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about though.
Okay, so he's been scouting him.
Yeah.
He's been coming out, just walking the ring, and then he leaves. And that's about as close as we're getting to anything that's related to Kenny in Japan on AEW programming.
Right.
So I'm going to leave that there. So that makes me, but this is, like I said to you before, like, this is very WWE, that like they'll give you just a little bit to make a fan like me. This is where I'm very much what they want to do to a fan that's watching, that's involved in everything, is like, oh, now this match is important, But still, it's not. I still want to watch it, and now I'm going to know who Tama Tonga is, which to me, like, we've covered this kid all year and heralded him. Of all the guys on there that could possibly be a WWE guy, crafted, handed to them, Tama Tonga is it. So maybe they do want us to see who this kid is or pay attention to him. WWE doesn't usually not do that. They usually don't put your direction somewhere else other than their product, unless I'm completely wrong. But maybe I want it too bad.
So, like, this is the second half of this year has been all Tama Tonga.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been all Tama Tonga and then all Will Ospreay. I think those are the two figureheads, with Jay White there as well, of New Japan this year. Here's my thought, is that AEW, WWE, WCW, ECW, Ring of Honor, Impact, NWA. If you say the words, insert wrestler here is wrestling on Wrestle Kingdom January 4th, you're not losing your audience.
You're not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
You're not going to. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying that, like, there's, like, the difference between AJ Styles going, oh, he's taking care of business over in Japan, and AJ Styles going, oh, Carl Anderson's defending his title, the title he won,
Okay,
because he's such a good brother over there and taking care over in New Japan, taking care of business. It's not. You're not going to get a drop in ratings because everybody switched over to New Japan.
Right.
So my thing and my thing is just that, and with AEW they've shared a show with New Japan, so them not saying is kind of, or showing a graphic or whatever is just as ridiculous. My bigger point is that there's no reason you can't say it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
There's no. It's really just you being petty, or maybe not petty, but you just like you kind of being difficult. You know
I
what
feel
I
like
mean?
AEW is being difficult right now.
Like WWE going,
They're giving them the talent, so
right. It's like it almost feels like that's enough. Like, we're giving you Carl Anderson, that's enough.
yeah.
We don't need to do much more. And then, like, same thing with Shinsuke. Shinsuke's over in Japan right now. Nobody knows it.
I didn't know he was like he's there. Like, I know
Yeah,
he's
he's there because of
going to be the Muda
Muda's
thing,
last
right?
match is with him and Noah, and but it's like you wouldn't know. Nobody knows that because WWE won't say it for whatever. Like you've had Muda on. Like, Muda's been such an integral part of wrestling history.
Yeah.
That, like, did WWE do anything for Antonio Inoki passing?
They put a graphic up, I believe.
Okay, so they put a graphic up. Fantastic. But like I'm just like, just acknowledge it. Like, there's no reason
Muda's farewell tour, you mean?
Not even the whole tour. Just be like, hey, like just like throw a graphic up in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, just showing the quick graphic. You know what I mean? You don't have to spend 5 minutes of your TV broadcast. I'm not asking for that.
Yeah.
But like, just be like, like, it doesn't add anything to your program, but it also doesn't take away anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just like,
I got you.
Like, it's like, even if you do something like Ricochet comes into Adam Pearce's office looking for a tag partner, and Adam Pearce is like, "Sorry, bud, there's no one to tag with you." And he's like, "What about Shinsuke?" And Adam Pearce goes, "Sorry, dude, Shinsuke's over Japan, being part of Great Muda's last match."
Yeah.
And Ricochet just goes, "Oh, that sucks for me, but awesome for Shinsuke."
Right.
What about Braun Strowman? And then, well, I don't think Braun Strowman's here. Walks in Braun Strowman. That was 30 seconds.
Yeah.
30 seconds. That's it.
Yeah.
You just, like, that's how my thing is. And again, if
AEW
didn't acknowledge it either, shame on them. Just
seriously,
as much.
right? Like, yeah. So, okay. I'm going to jump.
Go ahead.
Is there any chance, because it's a Wednesday, right? Like, it's going to be Wednesday that time. Is there any chance Kenny wrestles on Wrestle Kingdom and then on Dynamite?
No, it's too much of a flight.
Too much. Okay.
I think it's like a 20. Are they in Seattle?
It's 9. It's 9.5.
Are they in Seattle?
Yeah, it's not. I looked it up last night. It's 9.5 from Tokyo to Seattle. It's 9.5.
Hold on.
That's what I saw. I might be wrong.
So. When is match?
Oh shit!
Upcoming shows. Here we go.
Wow, I didn't even think of that. There's no way they announced that.
AEW Dynamite Seattle. The only match announced for the Seattle show is Jericho versus Starks.
Okay.
Battle of the Belts 5. 1-6. That's a Rampage. Never mind. He's not going to be on the Rampage. AEW Dynamite on the 11th. Britt Baker versus. Okay, so AEW Trios.
Yeah.
Is this going to tell me?
They showed the graphic.
God damn it.
See if I can find it.
Why is this graphic so hard to find? Here it is. Okay.
Yeah, that
Match 7th is taking place on the January 11th show.
makes sense.
So that tells me that Kenny Omega is not going to be on the January 4th show. So could he do it? Yeah. Would he do it? I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like,
But what I mean, would it be is that just me overthinking it too much, or would that be like? I feel like that would be a moment, right? Like,
yeah, it would be.
Jesus Christ! Like,
I don't think
Rick Rude showed up on 2 shows because one was recorded, and people like still gush over it, which is very cool. Very cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, to see the same guy on 2 different channels, I get it. But the fucking show was taped. It's not like he jumped a flight. You know.
Right.
I think Kenny having that Rick Rude moment where it's legit. He needs to. Maybe you know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. I think I'm comparing it to like that. How cool it was that Deion Sanders did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Maybe that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I don't know. I would like to see it though. If he shows up next Wednesday night, I think I'd fucking lose it a little bit.
It would be cool.
So
we both have Tama Tonga over Carl Anderson. All right. Before we get to the greatness that will be Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, we have Shota Umino, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kenji Moto taking on Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Bushi in what is Kenji Moto's last match for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm honestly torn because I feel like LIJ will get the win here, but I feel like they'll want Kenji Moto to go out on top.
But that also goes the opposite way too, like a respect thing, like
exactly.
Leave on your back too, right? Like, isn't that
exactly.
a thing?
And Suzuki in the Suzuki-gun final match, he took the fall. Like Suzuki took the fall.
Yeah, so this is really a coin flip.
Finisher from everybody, and then got pinned by Zack Sabre Jr. So yeah, I think
the fact that it's not a one-on-one match, I feel like Muta, even though he's not wrestling as Muta, it looks like he's gonna be wrestling as
himself,
which is it's okay.
Well, they've had Muta's last match already in New Japan, so this is Kenji Moto's last match. So here's my thing is just like I think that he's involved in the pinfall one way or the other.
Right.
I'm gonna take Kenji Moto, Shota Umino, and Tanahashi though, just because I want that feel good moment.
Me too. Especially that Tanahashi's involved. Like, yeah, give me all of that. Right.
Yeah, give me all that wrapped in a bow. Yep. Then we have our IWGP Junior Heavyweight title.
I don't want to talk about it.
What?
Pass. Fucking
you don't want to talk about this?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
No, go ahead. Give your answer. I'm not giving mine.
You have Taichi Ishimori taking on Hiromu Takahashi, taking on El Desperado, taking on the fanny pack full of tissues, Master Wato, because he's soft. So I have Hiromu Takahashi coming out of this. I think they're setting up for Takahashi versus Kushida going into 2023. Because Kushida hasn't done dick since coming back. So I think Kushida versus Takahashi to them is the marquee matchup, and I think that is the wrong choice. I think it's El Desperado versus Kushida, but I think that I just think it's Takahashi coming out of this, and I think it's going to be very good. 3 out of the 4 in here are amazing junior heavyweights, and I think that as long as Master Wato doesn't walk out with the title, I will be perfectly happy with this match.
I want to apologize. I completely thought this was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles, and that's why I completely poo-pooed it, because I looked and I saw that to the right. So
no, we already talked about it.
I know we did, and that's how I'm like, wow, okay. Fucking, you know what? I'm going to go Ishimori.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have him retaining. That's not a bad call.
Yeah, I apologize. For some reason, I didn't look at the match. I looked at the listing of the match, and I didn't continue reading it. All right, yeah, I got Ishimori.
All right, and now we get into what I am dubbing the double main events.
Yeah,
no, never mind. They're dubbing it double main event too. Fantastic. All right.
Okay.
We have
As they should.
as they should, exactly. We have Kenny Omega returning to New Japan, returning to the Tokyo Dome, challenging Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Kenny had some very harsh words, I thought.
I'm interested in hearing that. Because these two got me believing that there is, even though this is where like these guys are both very good at what they do, they got me believing that in everything they're saying to each other, that there's some truth there.
Oh, I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think I don't think Ospreay likes Kenny at all.
It feels like it. It feels like it. It feels like there's some animosity there.
I don't think, and I think like
he's also a brash dickhead though too. So like he's just so good at everything he says. You're like, wow, you're a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but it really feels like he wants his fucking flowers and he ain't getting them, and he's pissed. But who knows?
So Teresa brought it up to me before I heard it somewhere else. Will Ospreay defeated Kota Ibushi for the IWGP Never Openweight Championship.
Okay. Dominion?
No, it was a Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh wow. Kota Ibushi, 19?
No, it wasn't.
He was with that ridiculous moonsault. Was that a 4-way? He climbed the fucking scaffold.
Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Okay.
And the end of that match saw Will Ospreay hit a hidden blade on Ibushi, giving Ibushi a concussion, and then he hit the Stormbreaker to get the title. Kota Ibushi was carted out, and it was to me it was the beginning of Ospreay becoming
a legit villain.
Right.
Jesus. So he fucked him up.
He did. So Teresa brought up the fact that this is Kenny's revenge. This is Kenny coming back, getting revenge for, as she likes to call it, because she very much thinks that they're dating.
Have they? Yeah, I mean, will they come off like that? You know,
right? Like, Kota. Apparently, Kenny wore an Ibushi shirt tonight.
Holy
on
shit!
AEW.
Is this the comeback for Ibushi then?
Okay, so here. Okay, I'm glad you asked. So.
What a fucking spot! I'd be so torn.
Kenny Omega is not beating Will Ospreay.
You know what, Conway? Watch it with that, because you've turned me, and I don't know if I can take him. All he's doing is lose his big matches, and I still have him as the fucking
Will Ospreay in a big spot does not come out on top.
Oh, it's a fucking nightmare.
Well, it's a heart attack for me.
It's a nightmare.
But here's the thing: is I don't think. It doesn't make sense to me for Kenny Omega to be IWGP United States Champion.
That's the only thing I'm wrestling with.
He's going to be.
Or he shows up with it Wednesday night.
He's going to be there. No. Him and the Young Buck, are winning the trios title.
Sure.
Then you're going to tell me he's going to split time between AEW and New Japan? I don't think so.
They're doing shows in the U.S. all the time.
I know, but my thing is,
he has to go to Japan to defend it.
No, but
and look what they're doing with the U.S. title.
What's more important to Kenny?
Showing up on Dynamite with the U.S. title the same
night.
The same night. I wasn't even putting that together. That I knew there was a time. Jesus Christ, Conway. He's showing up on Dynamite with the fucking. Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
I'm saying it. There it is. Kenny Omega's winning this fucking match and showing up on AEW with that title. He's going to wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom. He's going to show up on Dynamite. He has needed something huge since day one in the United States We've been saying it forever. I've been saying it forever. He hasn't translated. He hasn't had that moment to say, what the fuck is going on with this guy, to make him that guy. Like, I'm sorry, he's not. As good as he is in the ring, he's not prolific. He's not polarizing, right? This makes him that.
I don't
book it.
Okay.
Fuck.
So the Peanut Gallery has just chimed in saying a time limit draw. I would love a time limit draw. I think it's the right route if you don't want to put Kenny under.
So why are we not running with Ospreay?
I'm running with Ospreay.
You know what I'm saying? If that is, what are they holding out on?
I don't know.
I don't know either. They are holding out on this kid for a reason. Everyone is.
I don't know why.
Something's up.
I ask this question every time he loses to Okada, which feels like every single time. I don't understand
the way
their problem is. And I think my thing is, if he was Japanese, wouldn't be a conversation. He would have been multi-time IWGP heavyweight champion by now. He would have won G1, blah, 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 blah.
Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing. I think that my feeling is that Will Ospreay beats Kenny. He is cheering. The United Empire is in the ring, blah, 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 confetti, whatever.
I'm with you.
And then we get Coda's music. Coda makes his return.
Let's fucking go. I love that so much better than my scenario. Good.
But is Coda in a sling? That is the question. Because Coda has said he's not returning till he's 100%. He's supposedly at 70. Coda's not saying anything himself. Actually, I think he did say he was at 70. He did an interview recently where he said he was about 70. My belief is that Coda will have a match with Ospreay, lose to Ospreay, and then walk away from New Japan. I think that...
Wait, say that again? Ospreay will have a match with Coda and then walk away from New Japan?
Coda will walk away from New Japan.
Coda will. Okay, sorry.
I think Coda's done with New Japan. I think that bridge is too burnt. I also think that there's a chance that Kenny convinces Coda to do a stint in AEW with him, which will lead to then Coda going back to Japan and creating his own promotion like he's been talking about.
Wow. Okay.
But
all right.
But my issue as a Ospreay stan, as much as I am,
same, bro. We are in the same boat.
I will never not pick against Ospreay, regardless of the spot. And
I don't know if I could do it again after the G1 Climax. I don't know if I can.
Okay, as a Detroit Lions fan, I can never not take that punishment of hope into disappointment.
Right.
I will never.
I know. You're right.
Okay, real quick on the Lions, because I know only like a quarter of our audience cares.
All of our audience cares.
They need to win the next 2 games, and then Seattle needs to lose one of them, and they're in the playoffs. They're gonna lose. Like, knowing that, they're gonna lose both those games, and then I'm just gonna cry in the corner somewhere.
So Detroit has to run the gauntlet, and Seattle needs to lose one.
Yeah, they either need they got the Jet. Seattle's got the Jets.
Seattle's got the Jets. Are the Jets in?
No.
I don't know what the standings look like in the NFL.
I got it right here.
What is Seattle in the hunt?
So as of today, the playoffs are Philly, Minnesota, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Dallas, New York, Washington.
Okay.
So if Washington loses to Cleveland,
fucking Commanders, get them out of here.
Detroit beats Chicago, and
Seth Rollins
Seattle loses to the Jets, then the Lions are in.
Detroit has to beat Chicago.
And the Lions have to beat Green Bay. And regardless of what happens with the Seahawks.
Did Did you say Detroit has
Detroit's
Green
in.
Bay?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I know.
Wow. Detroit, Green Bay
I
on the
know.
last week of the year
Yep.
to get in the play. That's fun. I'm watching. Like I will be watching that with you in mind. If it comes down to Detroit and Green Bay, you just made if that game has to be on TV. Has to be.
Washington has
Sunday
to
night.
lose. So Washington and Seattle have to lose one game, and Detroit has to win out.
Okay. So we just need them to get there first this week.
I
All
need
right.
to like
I
take.
hope they
I need to like. Oh, why am I blanking on her name? What was the skater that got a pipe to her knee?
Oh, Nancy. Not Nancy Kerrigan, the other one. Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, I need a
Tanya
Kerrigan
Harding.
Heineke
You need
right to the
someone.
knee and Geno Smith to the other knee.
We need to find a Tanya Harding. Oh Jesus! All right, I'm with you, kid.
I have to depend on the Jets. I have to depend on the Dom. I have to depend on the Jets. Are you serious right now? I'd have better luck breaking a full bottle over my head of Crown Royal than the Jets beating Seattle. Like, God damn it.
Well, Seattle has the Jets, and who else do they have the next week?
I just had it. The
Sorry.
Rams. And
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I just need Detroit. If Detroit wins out and they still don't get in, I won't be mad.
Chicago trash.
Chicago's a dog.
Okay.
Absolute dog. 3-13 right now.
Yeah, fucking beautiful.
All right, 3-12 or something like that.
Yeah. See you later, Chicago. All right.
I'm just saying, they're absolute dog right now.
Let's go. Let's go, Lions. See how easy that is with me? See what happened? Like, I just need some sort of action. I just need a reason to root, kid.
I can't bet against Will Ospreay.
Okay. No. All right. You're right. But so we got Will Ospreay. Great. Will Ospreay wins. Kota Ibushi comes back. And then that somehow breaks down into Kota and Kenny back in AEW for a minute.
Essentially, that's what I think is going to
I
happen.
love that. I love that much more than what I said. So everything. Detroit Lions, that, book it all. Let's go. Love it.
Now, the culmination of the year for New Japan. You have your G1 Climax winner, Kazuchika Okada, the legend, the living legend, the greatest IWGP champion of all time, the greatest wrestler in IWGP history of all time, taking on the leader of the Bullet Club, the catalyst of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the catalyst of all professional wrestling, the Switchblade, Jay White. This match may be this match and Ospreay Omega have the opportunity to be the match of the last 3 years, if not longer. There is a real potential. This is the, like, take the company out of it. This is when wrestling itself is its best. When you have two matches that are solely going out there to outdo one another, and you don't know which one's going to do it. Like, and this has happened a few times in WWE. None that I can remember right off the top of my head, but like this is an opportunity. This is one of those rare times in wrestling where you have two matches that would main event Wrestle Kingdom any other year, but now are competing against each other, and you don't know which one's going to be better. I know what one I think is going to be better, and that's Ospreay versus Omega. But every time Jay White and Kazuchika Okada step in the ring, it is banger, banger after banger after banger. And like this is the interest. This one is very interesting because Jay White has a 4-1 record against Okada. But when you look at Jay White's record in the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom and then you look at Okada's record at Wrestle Kingdom, it's like it's more even than you think. Like, it is absolutely wild when it comes to both these guys at Wrestle Kingdom. So like, this is one of those few matches that you can't you throw the records and you throw the statistics kind of out the window.
It's almost like the first time it's happening.
Right. Because like, Jay White is, out of 6 matches, he is 2-4 at Wrestle Kingdom. Okada has wrestled 20 times at Wrestle Kingdom, and oh wait, hold on, let me get this right. Actually, Wrestle Kingdom 3, it was a dark match. Wrestle Kingdom 4, Wrestle Kingdom 4, he was a young boy. So Okada, okay, so starting at Wrestle Kingdom 7, ready? Hiroshi Tanahashi defeats Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada defeats Tetsuya Naito. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeats Okada. Okada defeats Tanahashi. Okada defeats Kenny Omega. Okada defeats Naito. Jay White defeats Okada. That was Wrestle Kingdom 13. Okada defeats Ibushi. Naito defeats Okada. Okada defeats Ospreay. 6-man tag, Okada on top, but Jay White was in that match. Wrestle Kingdom 16, Okada defeats Takagi. Okada defeats Ospreay. So Okada may not have the greatest record at Wrestle Kingdom, but
Isn't it?
it's all high-profile matches.
It's crazy that I'm shocked at how much he lost at Wrestle Kingdom. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, that's how good he is. That he might as well be undefeated at Wrestle Kingdom, because every time he steps out on that fucking stage at Wrestle Kingdom, he's the greatest thing on the planet.
Since Wrestle Kingdom 7, 10 of his matches have been for the IWGP title. 10 out of 13 matches since Wrestle Kingdom 7 have been for the IWGP title.
What?
So like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
10 out of 13.
But Jay White is 4-1 against him with 1 victory at Wrestle Kingdom.
But it's a dirty win, right?
I don't remember, honestly.
They made mention of it. He said something like, he even mentioned in the press conference, like, something about he needed help, I thought. Anyway, go ahead.
That might have been when Gato turned, but I'm not 100% on that.
Wow. Holy shit.
I have no idea. Here's like, I've been going back and forth, like, because I want Jay White to win. I want Jay White to get that definitive victory, because it's one of those things that I feel like Nestle has said something to the same effect, where if it's not at Wrestle Kingdom, it almost doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But it's Okada in the Tokyo Dome for the IWGP title. You almost can't bet against him. You know what I mean? This is what I think a lot of wrestling needs, and that's a toss-up.
50-50 balls. You're right. Like, that whole intro into the co-main event is like, it's perfect. It literally is. Yeah, it's a toss. It's a coin flip between both these matches, and the outcomes are important to the future of what's going on over there. Jesus Christ! But the year Okada, man, he wins the G1. He beat last year. He beat Ospreay to start the year off. He wins the G1. He's on a fucking roll. If he wins, what happens to Jay White? If Okada wins the title back, what happens with Jay White?
I don't know. Ideally, Jay White wins the New Japan Cup. They have their rematch. And again, here's the other thing too. If that happens, and Jay White beats Okada, it doesn't matter because it wasn't Wrestle Kingdom.
Jay White has to win here. It does more for him than it does for Okada.
100%. But
He
that's why
doesn't win
Okada's
here.
going to win.
Jay White
Every
doesn't.
time. Sorry.
Oh, I think so too. I think you're right. I think you're
Every
right.
every time it would do nothing for Okada, Okada wins. What did the G1? What did winning the G1?
That means Jay White's out of Japan. He's leaving. What's the record on that? Like, you know what I mean? In those in those instances where Okada didn't need the win, he wins. He takes the title off somebody.
I don't know what I don't know what Jay White's contract status is, and that's part of
nowhere to go after a loss.
The factor too, because I've said this before, with the Rumble coming up, it gets scary for me because I don't know who's leaving.
I mean, if there's no schmoz, if it's a clean finish, Okada pins him. Jay White has to be out the door. There's no coming back from that at this point. Not after this run. There's no.
I just think that Jay White is on
a tier.
Here's my thought: is that Jay White is on top of the New Japan world right now.
That's what I'm saying.
And regardless of the outcome, he'll remain that way.
I don't know.
But
I don't know if he does, man.
If he loses and goes to America, goes to WWE, shows up at the Rumble, a la AJ Styles.
That's what I'm thinking. If he loses.
Can Jay White have that impact off the jump?
People don't know
WWE.
Jay White. People don't know Jay White like they know. WWE fans don't know Jay White like they knew AJ Styles.
Right.
It's a different ballgame.
Right. But
AEW?
No.
Then he has to win. He has to win.
So for Jay White to go to AEW, whether on lease from New Japan or full-time AEW, he has to immediately go in and take out, who's their champ right now? Why am I blanking on who's AEW champion right now?
No, we're not Moxley. It's fucking MJF.
MJF. He has to go in and take the belt off MJF fairly quickly.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. He could putz around with Joe. He could putz around with Moxley. He could putz around with Paige. He could putz around with anybody. But
Jesus Christ,
Jay White's best. If he
I'm putting this on airplane mode.
If Jay White wants to leave New Japan, his best bet is AEW because he's shown his face there before.
Say that again.
If AEW, if Jay White wants to leave New Japan, his best bet is AEW.
AEW, yes.
Because
he's not going Impact. Right,
because
yeah.
his face has been
it's
shown
familiar.
Before.
But they haven't done a good job at keeping and reminding you about him.
Right. Jay White's best challenge is WWE. And I would be shocked if he goes to the NXT roster.
The only way, and he's not going to the NXT roster, he's coming. The only way Jay White loses here and bridges to the WWE is it has to go through Gallows and Anderson. Sorry, Anderson and Gallows.
Do you think
something has to happen there?
They turn on AJ with him?
Does AJ show up here?
No. I'm saying if Jay White shows up in WWE, Gallows and Anderson turn their back on AJ. Now you have AJ versus Jay White.
Something along those. The bridge of Jay White getting to WWE after a loss to Okada. Carl Anderson on the card. Something's there. If he loses, this is only if he loses. I want to see him. Let me be clear. After all this conversation, I want to see Jay White win and do what he has to do in Japan and in New Japan. I think both parties are better with each other. Jay White going to WWE doesn't help as much as he could staying in Japan with the title, I think. But if he loses, there is something that happens with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I don't know if it happens on the show. I don't know.
I think Jay White wins.
Okay.
And like, gun to my head, Jay White wins.
Yeah, he has to.
Because I just think, as much of your golden goose is Okada,
He's always going to be that, though.
Exactly. I think
you just rattled off his record at Wrestle Kingdom.
I feel like this needs to happen.
When you told me Okada's Wrestle Kingdom record, that blew my mind because I would have guessed he was undefeated. They have done such a good job at protecting Okada throughout major losses on their WrestleMania stage. Unaffected, unfazed, unaffected. This man, for anyone who doesn't watch him, you don't understand Okada until you see him. You didn't get the full effect of him in AEW. I'm sorry. You need to see this guy in his homeland and in all his glory because he's it, man. He's fucking it, and he doesn't take anything. Like, nothing hurts this guy. He shouldn't win here. There's no reason for it. Yeah, I'm going Jay White.
I just think that you don't need Okada to win here.
No, you don't. There's not one good reason for New Japan to do that.
And that's why Okada's going to win.
Especially after winning the G1. He beat Ospreay last year at Wrestle Kingdom for a title?
No. No. Wait, no. Yes.
Jesus,
he took the belt off Takagi and then defended it.
Was it the IWGP World Heavyweight title? Did he?
Yeah.
Did he take it off Ospreay or did he retain it?
No, he took it off Takagi and then defended it against Ospreay.
Okay. So he wins it on night 1.
Defends it on night 2.
Retains it on night 2. Holy shit. And then wins the G1. Jesus Christ.
Yep. If there's a year, so
yikes. You're right. This is a big card, man. This is an important Wrestle Kingdom.
If you count any show at the Tokyo Dome, because there's been 2 at the Tokyo Dome that aren't Wrestle Kingdoms, it has been 2 years since Okada lost at Wrestle Kingdom. His last loss was to Tetsuya Naito.
Fair enough.
So Jay White beat him in 2019.
But so that was straight up was that one.
That was a different Jay White. That was a different Okada.
World title match?
No, that was just the world title match that year was Tanahashi versus Omega.
Then that doesn't do anything. That's literally Brock and Roman like over and over again until it became Cowboy Brock, like fucking Tribal Chief.
I'm gonna be torn either way. That's just how I'm gonna be. But it needs to be Jay White. It absolutely needs to be Jay White. Positively, absolutely. So that was Wrestle Kingdom 17. That's our rundown of the card. And Dom, I know you said you were thinking about it. Are you taking the day off?
I attempted it to no avail. So whatever, it's fine. I'll just power through it. Wednesdays it's fine because I don't have to be here till like 11:30 anyways.
I will be working, and I will come home. I will plug my computer into my TV, and I will be watching Wrestle Kingdom. I will do what I do every year for Wrestle Kingdom, and that is turn all the lights off and have the only source of light being
I fucking love that
TV, because I am my father and I prefer the darkness. Love
that. I love it. It's the only way to watch it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, even if it's just for Wrestle Kingdom, get your New Japan World subscription just so you can watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Seriously. I mean, it's no brainer. I mean, you can see the best card of the year for $7.
I know.
$8.
Again, I think this will be better than WrestleMania.
What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if better, but I don't want to say influential. Kind of influential. Like the outcomes of these matches definitely have more of an impact on where 2023 is going to be headed than any other match on WrestleMania's card.
Potentially, yeah. I
That makes
understand that
sense.
thought
You see what I'm
process.
trying
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah. I know
These
what you're
wins and
saying.
losses. These wins and losses actually means something
There's
else.
there's potential for big ripple effects coming out of this.
Right, exactly. It
Right.
affects everyone.
Right. So Dom, any closing thoughts?
Fuck no. No.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. That was that last two, man. Like I wasn't even. Yeah.
Ladies
Oh,
and
shit.
gentlemen, we will see you next year. Enjoy your New Year's Eve. Have a safe holiday. Please don't drink and drive.
Load up those Uber and Lyfts.
Yep. Live by those.
Or just stay where the fuck
especially
you are.
Yep. Or just stay where you are.
That's it.
Dom, have a safe holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm laying
You're
low.
probably going to be sleeping, I assume.
New Year's Eve, it's amateur hour for me. I'm past that. I'll be home fucking probably catching up on some old Wrestle Kingdoms. Yeah. Well, anyway, enjoy yours too as well.
Thank you.
I'm sure we will be in touch. Everyone be safe and watch this fucking show.
Yes, watch this show if you can.
All right, kids.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Later.